But my biggest advice for that for people is sentimental stuff is great. I am a sentimental person. Do I have a lot of sentimental items? No, but if you do, that's okay as long as
Hey there, besties. Welcome to our cozy corner of the podcasting world. Thank you for pressing play and spending some time with me here on Share a Latte. I'm Sukree, your virtual coffee bestie, podcast orchestrator, master storyteller, and your caffeinated host. Picture us in a cozy cafe with the rich scent of freshly brewed coffee as we embark on a journey filled with inspiration. In each episode, remarkable women share their tales of overcoming life's hurdles, offering a comforting embrace for your spirit. These narratives serve as a reminder that resilience and unwavering determination pave the way to success. Join me each week for conversations that will stir your mind, warm your heart, and you'll unearthly own your own ability to transform challenges into remarkable strengths. The Share a Latte podcast sprinkles hope, courage, and the belief that you can not only handle life, but thrive throughout your day. All right, besties, let's embrace those tales of triumphs and get ready for another episode of Share a Latte. Hey there, latte and podcast lovers. Thanks for pressing play and joining me here on Share a Latte. I'm your host, Sukree, and I have an exciting episode for you guys today. We're diving into a beautiful and meaningful conversation about creating a harmonious living space. I have a brilliant guest joining us today, Noelle Fowler, an English teacher turned holistic decluttering coach. I can't wait for her to share her journey with us and give us some valuable insights as to how we can simplify our lives and organize our living space. Spring is just around the corner, and it might be time for all of us to show our spaces just a little more love. Let's get cozy and learn how we can transform our home into a sanctuary, one decluttered drawer at a time. Welcome back, friends. I'm joined by Noelle today, and I'm super excited because I think we all need to show some love to our at-home spaces, and what better way to do that when you're organizing in a holistic fashion. Noelle, before we get too deep into our conversation, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this?
yes, thank you so much, Min. I'm happy to be here and love talking all things decluttering and organizing. I am a full-time English teacher, and like many people during COVID, found myself with some extra time on my hands. So I got really into organizing, and I started organizing on the side. It was a side hustle, and I'd go into people's homes and help them go through their stuff and put it in bins and put pretty labels on it. And I loved all that. But I realized that something was missing. I realized that what I really wanted to help people do was not just organize their stuff, but really pare down their stuff and not just put their things in bins for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I transitioned over to being a holistic declutter coach, which is what I'm doing now, and I love it so much. I help busy women simplify their life so that they can focus on what really matters to them. And it's really just an honor to be able to coach women up and be able to, yeah, help them prioritize things in their life, the things that matter most to them as an individual and as a family.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also love that it's busy women because I don't know a single woman who isn't busy.
I know, right? I don't even have
Yeah.
kids yet, and I'm a busy woman.
Yeah, kids just make it busier.
Yeah.
So, can you explain to us what you mean by creating like a harmonious and comfortable living environment through decluttering and organization?
Hmm. Yeah, I think our spaces are a reflection of what's going on inside.
Hmm.
When I know for me, if I have a more stressful or busy week, then I have stuff all over the counter or my house is more messy. So I think the more intentional we could be in creating calm spaces, the more
Yeah.
calm we will feel. You might relate to this too, like after you clean a room or after you do a nice deep clean in the kitchen, you feel so good, right? You're like
Oh
kind of
yeah.
high on
Oh yeah.
cleanliness or
Yeah.
decluttering. I think that's really important. And I think it comes down to making a space work for you and making a space reflect what's most important to you. So that's going to be different for different people. But if someone really values comfort, then they probably have their family room probably has a really comfy couch and maybe they have some cozy blankets around. Or if someone's in a season of life where they have young kids, that priority is going to reflect and maybe their family room has some toys.
Love this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty often, or it's pretty common for us to with social media stuff online, and you're like, oh, my family room needs to look like this, or I saw so and so's, whatever, this influencer I follow online. But the reality is, we have to make our spaces work for us in our current
Hmm.
seasons, and I talk about that a ton.
Can you dive in a little bit? What do you mean by work for us? Like, how do you take this approach with clients?
I want to know what season of life they're in and
Yeah.
how to realistically and practically make their space work for them. And I had a lot of practice with that with professional organizing. I would get to know a client, and if I was organizing their pantry, I'd say like, all right, what snacks do you eat the most? Let's make sure those snacks are readily available. That's
Hmm.
a really specific example, but now I really like to help women get there on their own or arrive at a conclusion of what is most important to them and how they want a space to function for them. It really depends on the individual, which is what I love, and I love getting to know people.
Totally.
I'll give you just an example for
Yeah.
someone who really likes to cook, or they just choose to cook a lot of stuff at home. They
Hmm.
are going to have more things in the kitchen. They're going to have maybe more cooking utensils than other people, and more pots and pans and whatever it might be. That's fine. You don't need to not have anything. You don't need to be a minimalist. If it's something you
No,
really care about and something that you value in your life, then you have to make it work for you.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think we also get drawn in, and I know I do, by the pretty aesthetic that a lot of influencers have. And the reality is that like we don't really need those pretty aesthetics. Uh, but I guess for someone who's a little OCD herself in regards to this, how do you get around this with clients? Do you get a lot of clients who come to you and are like, I want my pantry to look pretty.
Yeah. I think that definitely happens. People think that I am a professional organizer, which I was, and I still have that in my heart, but I am not going to do it for them. I don't want to organize your stuff for you. I want you to teach
No,
how to do
yeah,
it on your own so that when I walk away, you can still do it. And so that when you get an influx of things in your home, as you will, no matter who you are, you will know what to do with it. So I really like getting to the heart of it. I do want to say I'm not against like bins and labels. I have bins, I have labels,
of course.
but when we declutter, our things have a way of organizing themselves. You don't need organization as much once you have only things that you, I don't want to say only things that you need, but only things that you really use.
Yeah, see, I think about this and I literally I'm about to move soon. And it's funny because my boyfriend and I were talking. He was like, what is in that? I've never even seen you go through that green cabinet. I have this beautiful china where it's supposed
Mhm.
to be storing china. I do not have china stored in it. And I kid you not, I don't think I've opened that thing since I moved in to this apartment, which was a year ago.
Yeah, that's
So in my
common.
head, right? It's not uncommon. And in my head, I'm like, I don't know if I can really throw it out either because it's artifacts from when I've gone traveling. I just don't have the space here to lay them out.
Yeah.
I think the other fear is that that I have sometimes of bringing in an organizer is her being Marie Kondo would scare me to no end in some areas of my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Well, something I say is I ruthless. I mean, I can help you throw your grandma's china out. I have no problem doing that, but I'm
Right.
not going to do that unless you're ready for it. So that's why working with a coach is so good because
Yeah.
they can meet you where you're at. I have people who are have never decluttered anything, and we start with trash. We literally start with trash in a space. And then there's other people who have maybe done some work on their own, and they want to curate a capsule wardrobe or do a little bit of the more minimalist type stuff. So
Hmm.
definitely depends on the individual. And I would never make I would never make someone throw something out that they don't want to. I also
Right.
don't teach my clients to throw other people's things out or to donate other people's things. Start with
Right.
your own. I know you want to get your husband on board, but let's start with your stuff. He's
Right.
gonna reap the benefits. He's gonna love this whole decluttering thing, and then we go from there.
Do you see a mental health transformation with your clients when they're going through this process? And what is that like? Can you describe it to us a little bit as to what that kind of looks like from beginning to end?
Absolutely, yeah. First, I just want to say I felt that in my own life. The I felt lighter. My husband and I decluttered over 50% of our, probably not over, 50% of our belongings. And I just felt so much lighter. It's not like I had a ton of stuff, but everything that you own doesn't just cost its initial price. It has
Mhm.
mental space. You have to clean it. You have to maintain it. You have to charge it. You have to find a home for it. You have to pull it out and put it back. And so owning less things means less on your mind. And for me,
Mhm.
less anxiety. And I see that for a lot of women too. Like we have a lot on our plates, whether you have kids or not. The mental load of the invisible load of the home is real. And a lot of times
Yeah.
it falls on the women. And so if we can minimize that by not having stuff that we don't actually want or don't
Yeah.
actually need,
Mhm.
so many women say they feel lighter. Like lighter is the word that they use. Also, like they feel like they can breathe, which is the name of my company, Room to Breathe, because that's what I
Okay.
felt like when I seriously decluttered. I felt room to breathe.
Was it hard for you to get rid of the sentimental stuff? Like you talk about your grandma's china. I don't have my grandma's china, but I do have, again, like artifacts from when I
Yeah.
traveled. They all every piece tells a story. Like I think
Mhm.
about the color cluttering and I think about if anybody remembers this, but there's a episode on How I Met Your Mother where Robin gets really upset about oh no, sorry, Ted gets really upset about Robin and wants her to get rid of her dogs because they're all from past relationships.
Uh,
And Robin, half of your stuff is from past relationships. And he ends up getting rid of it. He puts it in a storage locker for a little while, but he gets rid of it all. And in my
yeah,
head, I think every piece of those artifacts or souvenirs had stories. The time that
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
got drunk on the beach at a moon party in Bangkok, in Thailand, or I bought something in the Heathrow airport because I was stuck there for 7 hours and couldn't leave
Oh my
Heathrow
God.
because I was afraid that if I left and then I couldn't come back, it was just a hot mess. I was like, ah. So I just bought
Yeah.
something because I wanted to prove to people that I was in London.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sentimental clutter, that's a whole podcast episode in itself. But my biggest advice for that for people is sentimental stuff is great. I am a sentimental person. Do I have a lot of sentimental items? No, but if you do, that's okay. As long as I recommend for people to put it in a spot where they will see it and in a spot where they will be reminded of that memory of that good
Ooh,
time.
love that.
It doesn't do you any good to have, this your grandma's plate, let's say, like this little saucer plate, whatever, in a bin in the basement. The memory
Yeah.
is not alive, or it's not, you're not being reminded of it when it's hidden. So if you can put it in a spot where you will actually see it, put it on display, or better yet, if you actually use it, like if you use the china or you use these artifacts.
Right.
I know you're moving, so you'll have a hopefully a chance to maybe
Well, okay, so
find
that was
some
my
spots
next
for it,
thing.
or maybe you'll be forced to go through it. Because here's the
Yes.
thing, the memory does not live in the item. The
No.
memory lives in your heart. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but
No,
let
it's
me
so
say
true
it again.
though.
Memory does not live in the item. It lives in your heart and it lives in your mind. Yes, the item can jog that memory, but getting rid of that item, if it is burdening you in any way, is not going to take away that memory. I've had that conversation with clients over t-shirts because people really like to keep t-shirts, right?
I
Yeah,
know
and like
exactly. Oh,
you can
my
only have so much.
ex-husband used to have so many t-shirts, and it literally would be a conversation of, but I went to a concert with my dad, or that was a Jays game with the ex person. And I honestly used to be like, you have 80 t-shirts. You're never, you,
Yeah,
and 40 jerseys. And I was like, I've never seen you wear them. You wear a
exactly.
suit on Monday to Friday, and on the weekends, you basically don't get out of your PJs. So what
But
what
what
are we
I
doing
teach
here?
is, yeah, I teach about these stories that we tell ourselves. And we tell ourselves these stories that are not true. And so I help my clients rewrite the stories, like the story of, I should keep this. It was a
Yeah.
gift. Or
Mhm.
I should keep this. We should on ourselves a lot. I
Yeah.
should keep this because I spent a lot of money on it,
Yeah.
right? The story rewrite for that is getting rid of this item or parting with this item doesn't doesn't save you any money. The money was spent when you first got that item, not when you
Yeah.
decided to let go.
Yeah, exactly. When you work with busy women, this is the other fear that I have. If somebody gets a hold of my closet, I may lose it.
Gets a
It
whole
isn't
lot.
really, for me, everybody has something that they're unwilling, or an area of their place
Oh,
that they're unwilling. For me, it would be the travel artifacts that I've received, but or obtained, but also like my closet. If you were to come into my home and go right to my closet, I look at it daily.
hmm.
I no longer work in the corporate world. And when I did, 98% of my closet was corporate wear, which I still own. Everything
Yeah.
down to the stilettos that I used to wear in the office. Now those things just hang there and gather dust. And I think to myself, I should just package them all up,
Hmm.
donate them, sell them, whatever that looks like. And then the other part of me thinks, what if there comes a day where I'm going to need some of this stuff?
There's the story you're telling yourself. What if? In reality, if you got rid, first of all, how long has it been since you wore that stuff?
It's 2024 now,
Yeah.
pre-pandemic. Actually,
Okay,
no,
so even if
2019.
you even if you needed a pantsuit, or is that what it is? Like pantsuits, and
Pantsuits, pencil skirts, blouses. Yeah,
would you reach for those things, or would you want something new, something more current?
there's a pantsuit that I totally would reach for again, and it's just a very classic look that I would probably that never really goes out of style, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I say this and then I'm gonna have a fashionista come on and be like, "You're lying." So there would be that one, but the rare times that I would wear it, if I got like a speaking gig, like I used to constitute it as like my interview outfit, the pantsuit that
Mhm.
I'm talking about. But would I wear it if I wasn't going to an interview? I doubt it.
Yeah. You said you see those things every day. You open your
Oh
closet and
yeah,
you see.
I have a walk-in,
What do
walk
you tell
through
yourself?
closet.
What do you tell yourself when you open your closet and you see all those things?
What I love my closet, but I sometimes feel sad.
Hmm. Yeah.
I do. There was a text message a while back with my boyfriend. I was like, I'm just sad that my stilettos don't get a night out. And then we would ended up going out and I wore one pair.
Yeah. Good from the use. If there's any, I don't know, because I'm not you, but if there's any part of, oh, I should get rid of this, or oh, someone else could use this, like you don't need to have that thought every single day if you do
No.
decide to let go. And then you have more room. I'm not
Yeah.
saying more room to go buy more clothes unless you need more clothes, but more room to breathe, more less to think about, less to manage. But I think maybe what you're getting at is that everyone has something that they really care about and they
I
don't want to
feel like,
minimize.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay. If that's what if you are an artist and you have a ton of craft supplies and you do art, awesome. Like holistic decluttering is all about getting rid of the excess so you can focus on what matters most to you. If
Yeah.
fashion matters a lot to you, if art, if cooking, whatever it is, then you're going to have more stuff in that category. And that's great. That means you're doing it right. You're prioritizing the things that really matter to you.
Do you work with women who are in partnerships? And you obviously brought it up before. Do you work with couples who are trying to do this for themselves?
I work with women, but a question that I get is how do I get my husband to declutter? Like the woman's, I'm all on board, I want to join. How do I get my husband to do it? Or my boyfriend or whoever? How do I get my
Mhm.
kids on board? And my biggest encouragement is do the work yourself. Don't touch his nightstand. Don't touch his closet. Do your part first, do your stuff
Mhm.
and the spaces that you have control of, and they will feel the benefits.
Mm.
There's never been a time where someone has decluttered and then been like, oh, my husband hated it. It is always a win. We just have to start with our stuff. I also feel like I was really lucky because I started decluttering and then my husband was like, yes, this is the best. So now we both like
Amazing.
it. Yeah. But I think everyone could get there. I think once they realize that our stuff can be so distracting from the things that we care about most. Yeah.
Are
Kids
you having
too.
them like separate them too in three different piles of donate, trash, and
Yeah.
sell?
It depends on the room that we're working on, but keep new home, like you want to keep it, but it needs to go somewhere else. Doesn't
Hmm.
belong in that room. Trash, recycle, and then donate. Sometimes sell, but it really depends on the individual for selling because it can take a lot of time and might not be worth that time. But yeah, different piles. And those are the main ones.
Uh, is it a longer process or is there more clutter the quote unquote busier the person is?
That's a good question. I don't know if that's the case. I think so much of it depends on what we grew up with. Like I often see people either reflect the environment they grew up in because I like to as a with the holistic approach, I want to know about their past too, their background. I want to know everything to be able to
Hmm.
understand really how they got where they are and why they want to change. But we either do exactly what our parents did or we go the extreme other way. If we maybe didn't grow up with a lot of money, then if we have money, then we buy a lot of stuff. Or sometimes if our parents held on to everything, then we hold on to everything. But I think so much of it is there's this analogy that I love, I think is so helpful. If your bathtub is overflowing, the first thing you do isn't grab a bucket and start getting water, right? The
Right.
first thing you do is you turn the faucet off.
Hmm.
And that's what I tell women to do. Turn the faucet off. Stop buying things. Disconnect your credit card from your Amazon account. Stop buying clothes. Wear what you have for this month. Which people don't really want to hear that sometimes, but decluttering isn't always this glamorous thing. We have to get to the heart of it, and a lot of it is overconsumption. So that's also what I teach. Once people have decluttered, there's maintenance mode. It's not like you declutter your house once and then you're done. I decluttered 3 years ago, and
Hmm.
it's not like I'm done. I'm constantly decluttering and I'm constantly checking my consumption habits to make sure I'm not bringing in more than I need to.
Can you talk about the maintenance mode? What does that mean?
Maintenance mode is so once you get your house to a place where you feel good about it,
Hmm.
you have less housework, you're not constantly shuffling piles, you're not like scurrying things into a drawer before company comes over. You got into a spot where you feel like you really can manage it. Maintenance mode is keeping it that way in simple terms, and that means changing our spending habits. That doesn't mean don't spend any money, but the one rule that I really love, rule, people hate the word rule, is the one in, one out rule. Get something new, you know it. Yeah.
I do
I,
know it. I
I
do know it. I try to put it into practice when it comes to my closet.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so helpful, especially for clothes for me. And if I get something new,
Yeah.
I have to get rid of something else, donate
Hmm.
something else. Even something simple, the utensil drawer in the kitchen, spatula and lemon squeezer, whatever. If I get something new, like I decided, oh, I want a grater for ginger. In order that drawer is organized, it's neat. In order for me to get this grater in the drawer, I need to get rid of something else. And you know what? I don't actually use that garlic press. Every time I cook with garlic, I just use a knife and chop it up because it's easier and I hate cleaning the garlic press.
Yeah.
Very specific. You can tell what I've been thinking
No,
about.
but those are that's funny because I was sort of
Yeah.
decluttering my closet and I have specific type of hangers that I just refuse to have in my closet. And mostly because it looks a certain way on the ones that I like. Whereas you throw in a plastic hanger, it just looks super gross. And I don't even. So now, if I am inching on whether I want to throw it out, maybe not this time, I'll put it on a plastic hanger. Next time, I'll see the plastic hanger and think, okay, if it's on a plastic hanger, I've already decided I'm going to throw it out. I don't like the hanger anyway, so it's going to
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
And
That's smart.
the
Okay.
yeah, the one in, one out too. I'm telling you, if you declutter like whoever, you will feel the benefits and you will love it so much that you will want to follow the one in, one out rule. You will want to not grab that favor at the wedding, not grab that free t-shirt at the basketball game. You're not going to want it because you're going to realize how free and how light you feel not having excess or not having more
Hmm.
than what is a good level for you.
Right.
And I just get so fired up when people get to that point. They're like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Free is not free.
free. It's not free. Oh, I love this. Are there any other strategies that you help your clients put into place in regards to the maintaining the maintenance mode? Do you ever have clients who like fall back into the trap of overconsumption and they come back to you and they're like, that was great for 8 months, and then Amazon hit?
Yeah, we're human, right? We're prone
Mhm.
to slipping back into old patterns. But I run a membership. So women who I'm working with, I am in touch with all the time. It's not like a one and
Amazing.
done kind of thing. We're really working through the home month by month, space by space, working together and working in a community, which is just a game changer. You're not doing this alone. You're doing it with women who also are prioritizing simplifying their life. They're like, you know what? I'm done having this clutter stress me out. I'm done with the anxiety. I'm done stepping on toys, whatever it is. And that is so encouraging to see other people's homes and to see other
Yeah.
people's transformation is just incredible. And that's what keeps people going. But when someone does slip up, yeah, like I said, we're human. You just get right back on.
Hmm.
And I teach a very practical way of decluttering. So it's not like we're spending hours all day Saturday. Who has time for that and who wants to do that? It's 15, 20 minutes, a couple times a week, decluttering here, decluttering there. We do have focused areas, but
Hmm.
it's not this like marathon event because that's not maintainable.
Absolutely. Definitely. And definitely not maintainable. That's hard.
Yeah, especially for busy women like we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. How long do the sessions last with you? Is it like an hour that you help them declutter for 8 weeks on end? I know you have a membership program, but what's
Yeah.
the most intensive?
Um, right now, the most intensive is the membership, but there is going to be an option soon for a VIP level, which is where you work with me one on one. And that's where we can really get into the nitty gritty of the individual for someone who really wants my help and wants to dive really deep in simplifying their home. That's not quite available yet, but that's an option where they could talk to me through Voxer. Are you familiar with that app? It's
Hmm.
a messaging app.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
choice. Hmm.
Pictures, videos, all that. It's amazing and just really helpful to be able to be like, let's say you're decluttering your pantry and you're trying to figure out where this goes, and you're like, oh, let me just ask Noelle. Like, you can send me a video, you can send me a picture, and I'll answer and help you get right back. Um, Figure out what you want to do with that space. But the membership, we have an education call, that's a Zoom call. That's about an hour where I'll teach about a topic. And then we'll have a challenge throughout the month where you'll actually work on a physical space. We'll have some sort of guest come on and talk about, let's say we're doing the kitchen this month. I'll have a guest come on and talk about something that has to do with the kitchen in a more holistic way. So talk about maybe meal prepping or some healthy swaps in the kitchen. And then the the fourth week of the month is a hot seat. So we do some live coaching on Zoom,
Mm.
which people really like. Someone volunteers to organize a space on the call and they get to ask me anything. We get to do it together. So those have been really fruitful and it's helpful to get input from the group too about how to work on a space. It's so helpful
Ooh.
to see what other people do. Yeah. I
Yeah, I was
mean,
gonna say it must be so much more helpful when you're like seeing somebody like because then you're seeing the transformation in
yes.
real time.
And what I hear from so many women is it's so helpful to see real homes.
Yeah.
This is not Pinterest. This is not Instagram. Like, this is what my bathroom cabinet looks like. And it works for me.
Yeah, that's
And it's
exactly
not
what I was thinking.
glamorous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's simple and it works for me. And maybe it'll work for you too. And just to see, we do it on a private app. So to see the pictures, the before and afters from the other women in the community, is just awesome. And they are so encouraging to each other.
That's amazing. Oh, I love that. I love that. You have a challenge that's coming up.
Yes.
Talk to us about
I
what this
have.
challenge kind of looks like.
Yeah, so it's called Start Here Now. It starts March 4th through and it goes to March 7th. And
Mhm.
Start Here Now is a challenge that I created for people who have told themselves that they wanted to clutter this year. And it's almost March, right?
Yeah.
And maybe someone hasn't taken that first step. So my encouragement is to just start here now. There is never going to be the perfect time. I fall into that trap all the time. Oh, I'll do it when the weather's nicer.
Hmm.
I'll do it when I'm in a better mood. That's what I tell myself, right? I'm in a
Yeah.
bad mood right now. I'll do it. But the truth of the matter is, there is never going to be a perfect time, no matter what season of life you're in. You need to choose for yourself if this is something you want to do, if you want to have a simpler life, a simpler home, to start here now. I'm really excited to get women in on that. And we're just going to work on 3 spaces, 2 physical spaces, and then 1 digital organization and digital decluttering, which will be really impactful. So I'll give you that information to put in the show notes, but they
Yeah.
can go ahead and go to my Instagram at Make Room to Breathe to find out more information about that challenge.
Oh, I love it. In regards to, are you selecting which rooms or is the person?
Yeah, they're pre-selected, not
Oh, that's
yeah.
exciting and scary.
But it's
Oh,
not, it's a small decluttering task. So it's not like anyone can do it.
so it could be like your kitchen cabinet.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Oh, awesome. Okay,
Very
so starting off
manageable.
super small. That's totally doable.
Yes, baby step, but baby step with a impactful punch. Like you will feel, oh yeah, this is nice to not sift through
Yeah.
plates and bowls to find the one that I like or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Yeah,
And then the digital part, is that just a folder? Somebody
it's
needs to
gonna
get
be
a hold of
fun.
I'd be happy somebody coming in and just dealing with my
I
computer.
know digital, there's so many different kinds of clutter, but digital clutter is real and something that we all need to get a grasp on.
Yeah.
It's going to be on just on our phones, a component of our phone that we look at often and would feel
That's
much
huge
easier.
for me. That would be so much easier for me. I think
Yeah.
about it all the time. I think I tell myself every spring, I tell myself,
Yeah.
you know,
Spring cleaning, right?
yeah, 20 minutes on my phone just to take care of X or put the photos in beautiful folders so that I can recall them easily. Never happens. And
Yeah.
now my laptop is a mess. But then I have to get a new laptop and then I deal with it.
Yeah.
And then
And
it
I mean,
becomes a
that's
mess for the next 3 years.
but totally relatable. Part of the membership too is that accountability.
Yeah.
Like, one, you're paying me to be a coach, but two, you're part of this group, you're part of this app. You have this community who is doing it with you, who is cheering you on, who wants to see you succeed and wants to see that transformation for you, for your family, whoever it might be. And
Mhm.
that is really important. And
Yeah.
one thing I'll say just about the digital, I started doing this. You search, so I have an iPhone, you search the day, like February 16th on your phone, and then you see all the pictures on this day from throughout the year. It's like time hop
Yep.
or from throughout the years, February 16th for the past 10 years on my phone. And then I every day declutter pictures from that day throughout the years. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I can't say I do it every day. I would love to, but I do it most days. And it's fun because I get to look back and be like, oh my gosh, 5 years ago we did this, or I can't believe that was
Yeah.
a year ago.
And then are you putting them into like folders? This is the trip to Maine, and this was when this happened.
I'm not because I back up to Google Photos and that is so searchable. Do you use Google Photos?
No. But I
Yeah,
have Google
I
folders I've heard that Google folders is a lot more searchable than Apple
Google
photos.
Photos has you could search up purple shirt and me wearing a purple shirt
Yeah.
would come up. I yeah, so that's helpful. Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm
I love
excited
it.
for that digital
That's
component.
so exciting. I love it. Awesome. So as we're wrapping up here at Noelle, why don't you tell us where people can find you, where your website is, and don't forget, guys, to check out the show notes for this challenge because this sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. And there's nothing to lose. So it's free. It's 3 days. It's going to be like 15 minutes a day of your time, and you will feel a difference by the end of the 3 days. So please come on out.
Yay.
People can find me on Instagram at Make Room to Breathe. That's where I hang out and love
Awesome.
just sharing simple ways that I've decluttered my life and how I see this work in the women that I work with. So really excited to
That's so
continue.
exciting. Oh, goodness. I think I might be taking a part, at least in the challenge, because I could probably use a little bit
Yes.
of it, especially since I'm going to be moving like weeks after that happens.
Yeah, you definitely want to declutter before you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
As long as we're not
that's
starting with the closet, I might be okay.
no closet. That's a
Okay, I'm in.
that's more than a 15-minute task.
Completely. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you so much, Noelle, for joining us. I hope that everybody takes it on this challenge and gives our living space just a little more love with a little more organization and just keeping it a little bit of a happier home as
Mhm.
things are organized and easier to maintain and just what's the word I'm looking for? More of a Zen space so that you're not constantly seeking or searching for something in the mornings when you're looking to rush out the door. Thank you so much for joining us, Noelle. I loved our conversation
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Noelle, and for shedding some light on some new angles as to how to organize our homes. It isn't always easy to let go of our belongings, but decluttering our home truly can have a tremendous impact on our own mental health. This is something to keep in mind, besties, as you continue to show your home just a little more love. Remember, taking small steps can lead to significant transformation, not only in our physical space, but also in your own mental health. Don't wait for the perfect time and start now. And to all of you, my besties, make your home a better place to live, one decluttering session at a time. With your favorite cup of coffee in hand, let's aim for a lighter and simpler life in 2024. I hope that this episode inspired you and you take bigger steps in creating that beautiful life that you've always wanted. If today's episode warmed your heart, please hit that subscribe button and stay with us for future journeys. If you enjoyed the chat today, your thoughts and feedback mean the world to me, and they'll help others discover the magic of Share Latte. Each story enriches our journey. Remember, you can turn trials into triumphs and scars into stars. Keep believing and keep chasing those beautiful dreams. This is Min taking her last sip from the Share Latte podcast, where life happens and coffee helps.